What's up guys, Yegi here. Welcome back to my channel. Those of you that know me, welcome back. Thank you for your support. And those of you that are new here, I am a master lash artist, educator, product line owner, and all that good stuff, but everything with eyelash extensions. So today I want to just jump right into what we're gonna talk about in this video, and it's L curls again. Okay, so this is the part 2 of the L curl series, I guess, the second tutorial. You don't really have to know what we did in the first one to follow along this one. L curls are a little bit tricky to work with, so the first time we did the tutorial, they didn't come out as perfect or as nice as I imagined them. So this time what we did, and the lash artist that helped me apply, the main takeaway for us is the direction we wanted to put the lashes in, okay? And that will make more sense as you guys watch the video. That was kind of the make it or break it with L curls, to really see that winged nice L curl shape. So for the first video, as our first try, we did a hybrid look and a cat eye. Okay, so with L curls we mainly want to do cat eyes because that's the point of it. We want to give it a nice wing. If you do a round shape, it defeats the purpose of that look. But for this video, we actually did a volume look to get a fuller look. And like I said, our main thing we did different was how we directed each lash, each fan, in order to have them looking more winged and sharp at the corners. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let me show you the mapping for this. And we use the L curl. Here's a little demonstration of the different types of L curls. There's the L, L plus, and LD, and the LD is also known as the M curl. So here's the chart for you guys to visually see what the difference is of that shape, okay? But we chose the regular L curl to really see that wing as nice as possible. So we're using the Yegi Mink vegan eyelashes to create this look, okay? So for the L curl, for volume, it only comes in a 0.05. And for classic, it only comes in a 0.15. So the product's a little limited because the L curls aren't that popular, but it does the job, right? So if we're going to use volume, we're going to use the 0.05. That's a good average thickness to make volume fans. And the tricky thing with making volume fans with L curls, we want to make sure we're not fanning out our fans too wide. We're making narrow fans, almost kind of like the wet look, in order to keep that shape nice and distinct with the L curl. So the L curl shape, like I said, it has a straight base and it kind of goes up like that. That's the regular L curl that we're using, okay? For that reason, if our fan is really wide like this, you're not gonna see this, and like the end part's not gonna look like that, right? But if we keep our fan kind of narrow, then you're gonna see this shape much better, right? So that's why we fan out the volume fans for the L curls not so wide. So now the mapping for the lengths, okay? So I said we're doing a cat eye. So this is a nice average medium length cat eye, okay? And we taper down at the corners to make sure it's not gonna be drooping. So this is how it would look for the right eye. We're gonna use lengths all the way from 7 to 14 millimeters. We're going to start off with the 7, then go gradually up to really get a nice cat eye shape. So we do 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, I didn't make this long enough. Okay, but then at the corners, I'm going to put a few 13s and a few 12s, a much smaller section than the rest, to taper down, and again to make sure those baby hairs in the outer corners have some lashes on them to make a darker set, but they're not too long, they're not the 14s, they're not too heavy to droop down, okay? So this is a nice, safe, medium length cat eye for the L curls. Well, let's get into the application so you guys can see how to make the fans, how to apply them, and how the final set came out to be. Here is the mapping with all the details of the products used and all that good stuff if you guys want to take a screenshot. Here is our beautiful model and the before of her eyelashes. And as you guys can see, she has hooded eyes, which the L curls are a really good fit for. Here are all the lashes that we're gonna use. We put them from shortest to longest, and as you can see, we are using the 0.05 thickness for the L curls, and it's on top of the silicone lash holder, on top of our glass lash holder, so we're kind of double using that for weight. And of course, just like any set, we're gonna go ahead and make sure her eyelashes are nice and clean. We've done a lash bath. We're now taping down the bottom lashes with the under eye patch and some of the blue sensitive tape before we start application. A reminder for the taping, you want to make sure none of the tape or the under eye patch is going in the waterline so it doesn't poke and bother the client. And of course, to avoid redness and irritation. Now, the first step after that in our application, we're going to go ahead and prime the natural eyelashes. And this is to make sure that they're at the right pH, they're nice clean, there's no makeup residue, no more natural oils, and the adhesive will work the best with them being primed. This is the Yegi primer. We only have one kind that works with all sets. As you guys can see, we have also mapped out the mapping on the under eye patches to give us a guide as we're applying, okay? So in the past, I've said you don't have to map it out. You can sometimes visualize it, but lately I'm more of a believer that we should map it out all the time to keep both eyes super consistent, because sometimes also when we're going fast, it ends up having maybe some inconsistency with just visualizing versus actually having a map. So I highly recommend mapping it out on the mapping sheet. Now we're using our isolation tweezers. This is the gold A-line tweezers, and we're using the L2, a boot-shaped tweezer, to create our narrow fans. And as you can see, the really tricky part with directing the lashes, instead of having them sit straight up like we would want with any other fan, instead we want them directing outwards of the eye. So we're almost laying them down towards the outer corner of the eye, and you guys can see that visually much better in the video versus me just telling you, right? So again, isolation, super important. Make sure you only have one natural eyelash between your tweezers, and then your fans are fanned in a narrow way for the L curls, and you're putting them tilted to the outer corner of the eye. So we're directing them out to really get that L-shaped winged look. Now, I think the third time we try a tutorial, I would want to do this set going from the outer corner towards the inner corner and just kind of laying them on top of each other one by one instead of jumping around. I think it would look even more consistent and even more perfect than jumping around, because when we go in order for an L curl, I think that's when we could really keep them as consistent as possible. And that's the key with L curls. We want to tilt them in the most consistent angle towards the outer corner. I would want to say almost at a 45 degree for them to look really pretty and almost like a winged liner look. It is challenging if you haven't worked with L curls before. At first, without the gloves, that was me kind of demonstrating and helping my lash artist. She is an advanced lash artist, but again, L curls aren't our thing. This was a challenge we did in order to also work on it ourselves and also give you guys a tutorial of everything we learned from our research and our practice. But as you guys can see, it is a little bit challenging at first, but with practice, just like anything, your L curl sets will get nicer and nicer and nicer. See, that one in the inner corner is not really tilting towards the left, so I would personally remove that and apply it. So here I am demonstrating for her again how we would apply it and make sure they are going to be tilted to the outer corner of the eye. Right, so here are the lashes we are using to do the L curl cat eye. I'm going to show you guys a close-up of how to do the narrow fans for the L curls in order for them to look nice. I'm going to grab a bunch
I'm gonna wiggle in between my tweezers to fan it out, but not so much. We're fanning out narrow, okay? So I can even grab it almost closed, not really fanned out like that, and I can finish fanning it out with the tip of the glue ring. So I want to fan it out just like so, not super wide, so when I apply it tilting outwards it doesn't lose the L curl shape. So let me show that again. We're gonna grab a bunch. We can either shimmy to fan it out a little bit right with our tweezers here, and then we can grab it off the strip. You want to make sure you have a tweezer that's gripping good. Finish fanning it out with the tip of your glue ring, and we have our narrow fan. So almost kind of like how we would do a wet set. We want our fans nice and narrow. If they're fanned wide, you won't see this L curl shape when you apply it. Narrow fans are your best friend when it comes to L curls, okay? And you don't have to grab a lot either. You can grab 3 to 5 eyelashes in order to do your volume L curl to keep the fans nice and clean. Now, if I ever have one sticking out from the base like that, I want to throw that away and I want to grab a new one. Grab it out. Now I can dip it in my glue to make a nice V shape. Oh, I lost the base. I'm gonna throw that. I'm gonna try again. Here we go. I dipped a little bit too much. It got stuck to my tweezers. I'm gonna throw that and I'm gonna try again. Got a little extra one. It's fanned out, but this one's a little too narrow. So I'm again gonna throw away and try again. You want it just right. Not straight enough. I want my base to be all together. This is when I would check my tweezers too, because it did get some glue in there. It's not gripping so good. This is when I would grab another tweezer and just kind of make sure it's nice and clean. I don't have any glue residue in between, or I would clean with the acetone to get all the glue residue off. And we would try again. Here we go, that's gripping much better now. Dip it in my adhesive, bring my ends together, finish fanning it out. And if I don't love the way my ends look together, there is one kind of out of its place again, I will throw that and I will try again. Okay, that's much better, and I would use that one. So L curls are a little tricky to work with. It takes some practice, but you know, with a little practice we can all get them right. But again, the main secret and trick with it is do narrow fans even when you're doing a volume set, and keep all of them tilting towards out of the eye as I showed you on the application. But let me see if I can show you guys one more close-up of the application on the dolly, just in case on the model it's not too clear. We isolate, we get our narrow fan, and again our goal is to glue tilting going towards the outer corner, and we can wrap it around like that if we are able to, based on the client's natural eyelashes. But again, main thing is we want it to tilt out. And see, even this one, it's tilting out, but not as much as I would like. I almost want it to be almost like laying down towards the outer corner. So let's try that again. And it's hard when there's other eyelashes on this dolly head. You guys can see that shape better on the model. But just so you guys see a good close-up, let me show you one more time. And another thing to keep in mind, a lot of people now like those M curls. You guys, in our line, our M curl for these mink lashes, we call them an LD curl. So it's the same, it's the shape of the actual eyelash. Okay, so it has an L base, but the curl is a D. That's why it's called LD, but people are calling those also M curls. Kind of a cool little fact. All right, I hope this helps, and let's get on with our tutorial. Over here you can see as I grab the fans, I am actually bonding the base on the side of the glue ring in order to make my narrow fan. Now that's a little bit of a skill that you need to practice in order to do, but the trick with that is holding the lash fan not so tightly and pushing the ends together where the tips stay wide and open. So we are just going to isolate and apply these narrow fans, tilting them to the outer corner one by one until the full set is done. Now our goal is to go ahead and apply on almost every single one of the lashes, with the exception of the very baby lashes, in order to make the set nice and full because it is a volume set. Now, if you are struggling with your isolation, you can also tape the eyelashes in layers, and that's another technique, another video we can link below that you can check out for isolating in layers. As you guys can see, the nicer and more consistent and precise we angle those fans to the outer corner, the nicer the set is gonna look. And it is easier said than done, but that's the trick with L curls, to make them look nice. Now when we're looking visually now, we can see that still some of them are still kind of pointing more up than the outer corner, and that's what makes it not super perfect. Okay, so of course that's something we're gonna work on at Yegi Beauty with our team as we perfect our L curls, and that's something you guys can work on as well watching this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it and learned a lot. Let's take a look at the final look. We're gonna untape her and we're gonna dry the eyelashes really well, then of course use the super bonder to bond them and cure them to have them be ready to go. And if there are any lashes that are really not pointing in the proper form, we will remove and replace and
brush them out, and now you guys can see they're a lot more aligned and they are nice and L-shaped. So I can't wait to reveal the final look. And she did love them so much, actually. And you can see with them open, they look so much nicer. You can really see that L curl shape. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and it was something fun and new for you guys to try. It is definitely not your common mapping that you would use on every client, but it is getting more and more popular. So I hope at least you guys now know what it will look like if you play around with it. And hopefully you would use what we learned from our first try to our second try to make sure you don't make the same mistakes that we did, and you can have beautiful L curl sets. But remember, practice makes perfect. Even this second time around, it's not the most perfect sharp L curl, but we know what to work on and what to do in order to get them to be as perfect as possible. With that said, please like, comment, follow, and support. It keeps us going and give us ideas of what else you guys would like to see. If you have any other tips and tricks for L curls, we definitely can use your feedback and help as well. Like I said, we're not super masters with L curls, although we're masters with eyelash extensions. It's always evolving and there's so many things that we can all learn. So please be part of our community and help us out. So share your knowledge and we'll be more than happy to share with our audience. Thank you again, and I hope you guys have an awesome day. Bye.